Welcome, Veritas family. Thank you so much for joining us here at Give and Take Past the Tassel. I'm Sherry Davis, and I am here today joined by Jason Urchek. Hi, Jason.
Hi, how are you?
I am great. We're so glad that you were able to be a part of this today. Our Past the Tassel episodes are chatting with the class of 2026. So you are in for a real treat. We get to know a little bit more about our class that's graduating here in May, and we are going to dive right in. So Jason, tell us a little bit about how you came to Veritas. What encouraged you to jump into a degree here at Veritas?
So maybe 2 years ago, I had been in the ministry for 7 years and learned a lot at my church. Thankful for the instruction there, but just felt like it would be good for me to get some further education. So I had my bachelor degree from a secular college from before I was saved. And I just felt like it'd be good for me to get some Bible classes, some seminary. So I originally started with just the graduate certificate at Veritas, and that was one of the things that really helped me dive in. I didn't have to make the big commitment to start. I could take a couple classes and get a certificate and get some training.
You
Um,
know, that's I want to park right there for a second because if you're watching this and maybe you're a little intimidated to jump into a full degree, whether it's undergrad, graduate level, or postgrad, what Jason just said is very key. There are always stepping stones. There's options that you can take little bite size, day by day options to get you to your goals, and it is a little less intimidating. I'm so glad that you brought that up because I think it's a great point. And you found, which I think you're going to tell us, that once you finished that you wanted to continue on to the full program.
Yeah, so once I got some classes under my belt, there also began to be kind of an assurance and maybe a desire to continue and keep learning. Just one other thing about Veritas is I was also wanting to do online school. So that was a big,
Mm.
because I didn't want to leave everything and go somewhere. And that's just obviously one big advantage of the online school that Veritas has to offer.
Right.
But yeah, definitely as I got my feet wet, I wanted to continue. And here we are today.
When you were taking your first course, tell us about your brain space. Were you thinking, oh boy, what have I done? Or were you thinking, oh man, maybe I can do this? Or did it take you the next couple of courses to really get into a rhythm?
So I haven't been in college at that point for 15, 20 years. So I have
Hmm.
no clue what to expect. I think I bit off a bit too much because I was still in full-time ministry and
Sure.
I tried to take two graduate level classes
Oh boy, yeah,
as
you
well.
just jumped right in. You felt
And
the Lord calling and you went for it,
yeah,
huh?
and
Good.
I thought I could get two done right off the bat, and I did. Thankfully, God provided the grace to get me through that, but that was really hard, and I
Sure.
would not recommend
Sure.
in my situation doing that
Yeah.
again. And since then, I've taken one class per um, what's it called, a section or
Per module, right. Or
per
term.
module.
Hmm.
And this summer, I was able to knock a couple extra out too. So
Good. Yeah, summer term can be a great asset to those who can squeeze it in. Sometimes our summers are just as busy, if not more, when you're talking about vacation Bible schools and
yeah,
vacations and missions trips and things. It's a little bit more erratic. However, if it fits into your schedule, it can really be a great supplement to your program and you can get done a little bit faster. So we would highly recommend a summer program if it meets your needs. But I think you're exactly right. And you jumped in, head first and into two classes, which is it's a really challenging load for a master's level student who has a family and ministry and a job and all the things. So good for you for pulling it out and then kind of knowing maybe I'm just going to stick with just one class at a time. Well, with that said, it goes back to the other point we were just making. You can just jump into one class, see how it goes. and usually the Lord will use that to say, hey, I think I can handle this, or I really enjoyed the structure of this class, or I enjoyed the instructor, and to be able to make the decision to move forward. So you
Yeah.
were mentioning a little bit about your ministry there. Um, Tell us about what you're about, what's on the horizon for you.
So when I started the degree, I was real heavy in youth ministry. I was our church's youth pastor, but I was also really involved in public school outreach.
Hmm.
That took most of my time. But fall of 2024, I just began to feel the Lord leading a different direction. And
Mhm.
after a lot of praying and seeking counsel, um, we're heading up to Cleveland to work with a church planting ministry. And we're going to be church planting a church in the Willowick area. So that's East Cleveland,
Okay.
which is next to Euclid, which is just a very kind of inner city atmosphere, just a harder area,
Okay.
rougher area, and also Wycliffe, which is a very religious area, but not gospel centered area. So just a great chance as we move
Got
into
it.
that area to reach um, these different areas and different, I guess, environments
Right.
with
Well,
the
that's
gospel.
exciting, and we would be thrilled for you to keep us posted on how that journey goes. It's exciting to watch how the Lord is moving there and be starting a new ministry and work there. We'll be praying that you'll have fruit from that labor, even if it's just. Will you have another group or couple going with you, or will it just be you and your family?
Yeah, so we're working with Heritage Church Planning. They're out of Heritage Baptist of Willoughby, and Pastor Suglio's goal is to send the churches out, supported and not just financially, but also with multiple people and families. So we hope to have his goal is to have at least 25 go with us to get it going. That would be a
Wow.
huge blessing. Yeah,
Yes, it will. That would be nice support getting started. Very
yeah.
good. Well, that's exciting. If I haven't mentioned this already, if you're watching live or in replay, be sure to tell us where you're watching from. We would love to see where everybody is. Jason, let's talk about what teacher or teachers might have inspired you during your time here at Veritas.
So I mentioned it last time. I have to say, Dr. Forrester was one of the first ones that really encouraged me, just his testimony of what
Sure.
God has done through him, but also his spirit and his attitude. And he actually was the one that taught both of my first two classes. And
Okay.
he did give me 1 day grace with my reading log and gave me an extra day to catch up there. So very thankful for that. But he's one that's really encouraged me. And I also thought of Dr. Edmonds as well. He's
Yes.
really challenged me in a good way to, you know, stretch
Continue
myself, I
on.
guess. Yes.
Get out of your
Yeah.
comfort zone, all of that. Yeah. We've got Dr. Cloud watching in North Carolina. We've got Josh Leager watching in Columbus, Georgia, and Neil Rice in Greenville, North Carolina. Thanks for popping in, guys. So Jason is telling us that he has really enjoyed Dr. Forrester's mentorship as he is coming up through Veritas. And of course, those of us who know him would echo that. He obviously, if you'll remember, is the founder of Veritas Baptist College from back in 1984 with a number of other local pastors here in the Fredericksburg, Virginia area. He still lives here, still teaches for Veritas, and we are thrilled to still have access to his knowledge and wisdom. We're so grateful to be to have a part of that. So um, I
Something
think
else
you're,
that I wanted,
yeah,
sorry,
go ahead.
something else that I was thinking of. So there's been such a good balance with the teachers, not just Dr. Forrester and Dr. Edmonds, but also just the others as well. There's the graciousness, the encouragement, and the patience from the teachers, but there's also the challenge there. Like they're not just handing out grades.
Mhm.
They want to see you grow and they want to see you learn. And it's there's definitely a great balance there of, I guess, grace and truth, you could say.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because our faculty, even though, obviously you're not going to take every class from every instructor, but every one of our instructors count it such a great privilege to be a part of helping you through whatever God's called you to do. We get to um, just be a small part of what God's plan is for your life. And with the instructors that you have in your classes at Veritas, you get mentors for life because they are eager to take your call. They're happy to answer any questions. They'll walk with you even after your academic journey is closed. Like once you're graduated, that doesn't mean that you don't have access to them. They're eager to take your call. And you just mentioned that earlier, that there is this balance where um, they want you to grow and learn, but also they are so grateful to be a part of that journey with you. I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, I think that's something that I mentioned last time was the relationship aspect has also been very helpful. That they're willing to go the extra mile and take a phone call, continue to check on you and pray for you, and that type of thing.
It is very characteristic of our faculty members and our culture here at Veritas. But I think that might be the biggest surprise because I think, especially if you haven't taken online
Hmm.
classes or been in an online environment prior, you're not sure what to expect. You kind of keep it at arm's length because you just expect that's what it's going to be. And then when you realize it's actually very rich, the relationship is very deep
Yeah.
and intentional. That I think is the biggest, nicest surprise when you are a part of something like Veritas.
Yes, it was something extra and something good for sure.
That's good. Tell us how Veritas has helped you in ministry. And I already know as a result of we just talked about your jumping into this new church plant season, but tell us how Veritas helped you make those decisions or jump into this next stage.
Well, of course, there's the online aspect once again that you can continue where you're at and take
Sure.
classes. But for me, there were a lot of things that I knew I was supposed to do, like goals that I had and things I needed to do. But Veritas has really helped me learn how to do things, I guess,
Good.
structure things
Hmm.
and um, I guess ways to do things. So it's like, there's a goal that you need to accomplish, but how do
Hmm.
you get there? And a lot of my classes have helped with, I guess, structure and planning and that type of
Good.
thing. That was an area that I really needed growth in, and it's helped me there. But
I find that to be true in a lot of goals in a lot of different areas of life, and that you know that it exists. But finding when the Lord brings into your path the way, the structure
mm,
of how to make that come to fruition, it is so freeing. It's like, oh, I can do the work. The hard work is not the problem. It's just exactly, I don't want to spin my wheels. And so bringing somebody who knows, oh, yeah, okay, well, here's how you do it. And that's so comforting and encouraging. And to be able to be part of that through Veritas is exciting. Jason, tell us what tip or advice you have for the students who are coming behind you. What do you want to tell to the classes that are still slogging away in their courses and looking forward to the time where they are going to be graduating?
well, I think I shared this last time, but I just go back to what Dr. Forrester taught, in that this is not, education is not time spent, but it's time invested.
It's
And
good.
sometimes we view these things as just things we have to get done, but it's so much more than that, and it's preparing us, for something else. And just remembering that the challenge is worth it, and um, it's for a bigger purpose, a better purpose, and just remembering that it is an investment. It's not just something that we just want to get done, but it's something that's preparing us and helping us to be better. And there's something else. So don't follow my example and jump in too deep, because that can be stressful. But I would encourage those who are thinking of jumping in to jump in, not to fear the challenge, not to fear the time that needs to be committed, because that investment will um, have a return on it. And I think if you go in this with the right heart, it will be worth it, definitely.
You know, you beat me right to my next question because it was going to be, what would you say to somebody who's on the fence? Somebody who's watching this and thinks, oh, I can't jump into classes. I've got too many things on my plate. And you answered it perfectly. Just don't wait, just jump in. You know, there will always be reasons not to do something. If you feel that the Lord is tugging at your heart and encouraging you to take the next step in your academic journey or to fulfill whatever He's called you to do, um, don't wait. Just, jump in and it'll be scary and you'll have to figure out the finances and you'll have to figure out the time and you'll have to figure out how to squeeze it all into your ministry and to your job and family. But back to your point, it will be an investment that you'll have forever. It will not go to waste for sure.
Something else that's been helpful that everybody may not be aware of is Veritas does have lots of scholarship opportunities, and just
Mhm.
to check into those because some of
That's good.
those have been a help to me that I didn't even know about when I started. So that's something else that can help with the financial side.
Perfect. That where you're hitting all the highlights. You're doing a great job. Thank you so much for bringing that up. So, he's exactly right. We have lots of opportunities for grants and scholarships and aid. If finances is a deterrent for you or a reason maybe you haven't looked into jumping back into classes, give us a call. Our team is ready to take your call and just take you by the hand, make sure that you get the information that you need. We would love to do that. So, Jason, thank you so much for popping in today, taking the time to chat with us. We're so proud of you and your progress, and we can't wait to watch your journey starting this new church. So, thanks so much for popping in today.
Well, thank you. And I have seen the value in continuing my education, and I do plan to continue. Maybe not two classes or three at once, but I do plan to continue. And
Perfect.
Veritas has really helped me.
Well,
Um,
then we'll have you back on when you finish up your doctoral program. How about that?
okay, we'll
Sounds
see about
good.
that. Yeah.
And thank you guys for watching in the community. Be sure to reach out if we can help in any way. We are thrilled to answer any questions that you might have. And we will be continuing our Pass the Tassel segment with some more of our 2026 graduates next week, same time. So be sure to set your reminder and jump in and join us. Thanks so much.